Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. I only want to take a look at the 1 hour chart in this video. In my last video yesterday, I also considered and took a look at the daily chart. So if you're interested in that, I would encourage you to check out the last video yesterday. It's still pretty much up to date. And I did cover the daily chart as well and made some important comments about the risk in the market and everything. But overall, looking at the smaller time frame here, not even here we've had a significant change or anything. Just a shifting of wave labels, but the most important thing, which are the resistance areas, they remain they are not even tested and they don't break. They are not broken at this stage. Okay. So what have we talked about? We've talked about the yellow wave count, which seems to be leading at the moment because we had a 5-wave move down into the Wednesday low and a 3-wave rally, another 5-wave move down, and we could be in the process of forming some kind of a flat correction in wave 2 before we go down further. At the moment, there is a setup. It's not a guarantee, but there is a setup for a decline into the mid 40k region, possibly around 45k. This can be quite easily invalidated, but the price would first of all break above 60,630. That would make the immediate 1-2 setup to the downside, so wave 1, wave 2, less likely, because any wave 2 that breaks above 60,630, in this case, the 78.6 retracement, that will become less likely in terms of, the bears will lose control. Let's say the bulls will start to take over, but that's only the first resistance area. Then we've got the next one for a larger bearish setup, a larger 1-2 setup, which is also likely. Here the bulls would need to drive the price above 63,400. So there are two resistance areas that would need to be overcome to really make the directly bearish setup less likely. It wouldn't be a surprise, we had it in recent weeks before, that a bearish setup got invalidated, so that can happen quite quickly. Bear in mind that we are just in a large range, from the March highs to now, we are just in a large range. Price hasn't significantly changed, and yeah, it's up and down and it's volatile, but still it's quite chaotic. What I want to say with that is, the microstructures can shift easily, but it's important to be aware of the relevant pivots. So for now, I think the pressure is still to the downside, but I was looking for, and I still am looking for, potentially a bit of a bounce here before it sets up further to the downside. It's not needed, okay? We don't need a larger bounce. Also, I don't really have a great bullish setup from here until we see a break of resistances. That just isn't a great bullish setup at the moment. That is not the same as me watching for a bounce. So if I'm watching for a bit of a bounce, it's probably part of the corrective structure here. That means at the moment I would find it absolutely reasonable, even in the scenarios here suggested, that there could be a bounce all the way up to 63,400, and it would not, let's say, repair the damage that was done by this 5-wave move down and the other 5-wave move down, because that indicates bearishness. So it really takes a break above resistance now again to repair that and to indicate that the bulls are back in control. I hope that's clear. So looking at the microstructure, I mean, there are a few options here for the yellow wave count, which is obviously showing us that bearish setup. Again, the wave label shifted a bit, but the resistance areas, which do matter, remain unchanged. The price is actually testing the previous swing lows. That's important to mention. But all I have here is still a possible 1-2 setup that could be unfolding with a messy ABC structure here. Well, that's one interpretation. It is not highly likely, but there are just too many options here, really. Another option would be that we say maybe this wave 1 never finished and we are simply in an ending diagonal to the downside. Okay, so that could be that it's doing here, maybe a 1-2, and this is sort of part of a 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's going down with this overlapping ending diagonal wave structure. There are just too many options. We need some price data, some more price data that will give us clarity on the micro level. But actually, we do have clarity because the micro counts don't matter so much. What really matters are the resistance levels. And as long as we stay below the resistance areas, even below the lowest one, there is no sign that something more bullish is playing out. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.